90 minutes. I was really supposed to add those at 60 minutes. Minor boo-boo, but an easy fix. To anybody who's ever done this, it's very simple. All you have to do is, in my case, I added the 1 ounce of the high alpha acid bittering hops at the 90 instead of the 60, which bumps up my bittering factor a bit. So what I'm going to do, instead of changing the 20-minute mark or anything like that, I'm going to change the addition of the 20-minute mark from 2 ounces of Saz to 1 ounce of Saz. That drops my IBUs back down. I've crunched the numbers into Beersmith, and it puts me right back into the green where I should be. Granted, this is if my specific gravity goes right where it should be with the boil. The boil seems to be the trickiest part for a lot of homebrewers. The reason why I say this is your mash can go great, but a lot of people tend to overdo the sparge, and they wind up with way more boil volume than they should, which then decreases your specific gravity. Remember, specific gravity has to do with the amount of water compared to the solute to make up the solution. So when you put in too much sparge water, you're increasing that water value. You're making it very... I work in a lab. Someone who has a very low specific gravity, that means that they're very well hydrated, which means they have a lot of water in their system. Same thing goes for your beer. Whereas if you have a high gravity, there's more of your sugars and starches, food for your yeast to eat. More of that than there is water. But it's a good ratio depending on the beer style you want. Right now I am still waiting for my 20-minute mark to hit. I believe I've only gone about, I have gone maybe 20 minutes. So just keep that in mind. It's important to note that if you're using a plate chiller like I am, I'm getting it ready and I am sending sanitizer through it. Prior to using it, see, I filled this whole thing with sanitizer. I'm just letting it run its course. Prior to using the wort chiller in any way, I went ahead and I cycled PBW through it for about 10 minutes, 15 minutes. And then I then run hot water through that for another 15 to 30 minutes. Just to make sure all the PBW is out. Then that's usually the night or two before brew day, and then right before I'm about to start chilling, that's when I start the sanitizer running through it just as a safeguard. You know, obviously you're going to be running hot wort through it prior to chilling. The hot wort is going to move through, and that will. Some people say that sanitizes everything, but just as a safeguard, I run the sanitizer through. So, food for thought. You do whatever you want. That's just what I do. Okay, I'm in the chilling process. Apparently, I'm having some trouble getting my hose to attach correctly to the wort chiller right now. But it's coming out somewhere between 70 to 80 degrees right now. I got cold water moving through, and we got the wort coming out. Let the finger do the talking. Alright, now I'll do the talking. So we got the boil leaving from the boil pot. Hot as hell, traveling through the pump, through the chiller, cold water passing through the other way into my fermenter. I'm completely done chilling. Everything's in here now. Got my yeast starter ready to go. It's all in there. Just going to take a quick gravity reading with my sanitized thief. We are at at 1.065. My target gravity for this beer was 1.07-ish. So apparently my efficiency needs some tweaking. I'll have to plug those numbers into Beersmith to get my efficiency figured out. Overall, not a bad beer day. I mean, not a bad brew day. So we're going to go ahead and pitch the yeast. Make sure it's all in suspension. And it looks like it is. If you used a stir plate and your stir bar is in there, that's fine. If it accidentally falls in, it won't hurt it. I've done that before. Because you got to remember, everything inside this vessel that you use for your starter is sanitized. I'm going to cap this puppy, put an airlock on it, and we'll be good to go. So you're probably thinking, gosh, Graham, you started, it was daytime, and all of a sudden it's it's dark. Truth be told, like I said, this is my first run on the rig, so I had some kinks that I needed to work out. A few of them were some clogged lines, and I had a temperature issue with one of my probes, which was inside my mash tun. The probe isn't long enough to reach the middle, so I was, luckily for me, the analog thermometer is accurate and was giving me an accurate reading right by the ball valve where it would be coming out of. So, all in all, not a bad brew day. Things to learn from. I taught you some things. I learned some things myself and what to do with my rig. Hopefully, all of this was helpful to you who's watching this video. Things to learn about specific gravity, things to learn about sparging, pitching your yeast, when to pitch it, at what temperature. I pitched it about, it was about 70 degrees. It was quite, it was quite chilled down. So we'll see how this goes. I'm going to be lagering this for about 6 to 7 weeks. So I'll let it finish fermenting, and then I'll let it lager past that. So that's it for the Baltic Porter. Thank you very much. I want to take this opportunity to say thank you to some specific people from the Homebrew Network. I want to thank Mike Stauffer for answering some questions that I had. And I want to thank Ralph, because I asked him a really important question about the Windows Movie Maker, and he had no idea what I was asking about. So he's my all-star, because we both were stumped on a question. So, and that happens. Sometimes that happens. So unfortunately, there's other people in the group to answer your questions. So I am tired. It's Saturday. I'm going to go have more beer, and I hope that you enjoy the rest of your time after watching this video. Cheers.